What's going on, you guys, man? I just wanted to hop on here real quick and talk about the movie The Woman King. Now, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, man, that's a badass trailer. I want to check that out. And I still may check it out anyway. What the hell? But what I didn't like is, the main character, which I like her because I've watched some other stuff. I think Viola Davis, I forgot her name, but never mind. But, she's trying to muscle people into watching it. Like, hey, if you don't watch this, you don't support black women or whatever. And I was like, damn, I was going to watch it because it looked cool, man. Shoot. But I did it last week talking about The Little Mermaid and just talking about the dark history of The Little Mermaid. And I do like the dark history of stories. In this regard, it's about real life. It's historical. The dark, everybody has a dark history. And the Homey tribe or the Dahomey, my homies, they definitely have a dark history. Now, it's important, if you look back into their history, it's important to look up stories that was made, 2 or 3 years ago before this movie came out. Like, you're going to find a lot of stuff just really going hard on their history because they're trying to boycott the movie. You know what I'm saying? So it's really good to look at stories that was like videos and stuff that was made 3 years ago. And the thing is, the movie's ironic because they are trying to, fight the Europeans coming to take them as slaves. In actuality, they were, that woman tribe was actually slavers. They was real big into enslaving people, capturing Africans and enslaving them and selling them in boatloads to the Europeans. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to make them out as some bloodthirsty tribe. It was basically an arms race. A lot of African tribes, they used to enslave each other and sell to the Europeans to get money, to get weapons and things of that nature to try to advance themselves. So it was kind of a survival thing. Now, for me on my end, I'm going to have to go back and just really dig deeper in the history to get the full story. That's why, whenever I tell these stories, I'm kind of like, I'm not saying this happened, that happened. But if you look back, they took enslaving people to the next level because they was trying to advance. And you will hear stories about them doing mass killings. They would kill people by the hundreds. And, like they would do a sacrificial ceremony or whatever. Now, the reasoning behind it is not because they were just some bloodthirsty people. It was because the Europeans was like, hey, we want these slaves in the boatloads. They're like, all right, we got you. And the Europeans like, all right, we're going to give them a little time to collect some slaves, and then we'll come and pick them up. But they were next level slavers. They underestimated how quickly they could get a bunch of slaves. And so they would wait for these people, and they had all these extra slaves, but it would put a strain on their food supply. And so instead of seeing the slaves starve, they would have these big, sacrificial ceremonies, and they would have to mass kill these slaves because the Europeans didn't come back to take them yet. And so that's a little bit of dark history on the homies, my homies. I might be African American because of them. I might have been, my ancestors might have been put in the boat by one of them. But the thing is, I'm not going to say, hey, we need to boycott the movie. Now, I don't like, like movies, they do take a little bit of liberty and they change history and this and that, and which is cool, like Gladiator, 300, some of my favorite movies, they kind of stretched the truth or changed a little bit. And they did that in this movie. The thing I don't like about it is the directors and stuff, they telling me to watch the movie and they trying to muscle me into watching it, and they trying to like make me depict these women as heroes, which, historically, they are not heroes. Now, they did what they had to do at the time. They simply did what they had to do. If they just would have took that opportunity and made these badass women, but also just put the historical data in there, just a little bit more of it, and not try to fool me, then I'd be like, all right, this is a great movie that I can sign on with. But that's, I just want to give the dark history of it, So anyway, that's all I got, man. If you got anything to add as far as like if you know something about the history, let me know. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of people going real hard on the movie and really saying, oh, they were just bloodthirsty savages. They was capturing slaves. Yes, they were enslaving people. And yes, they were next level slavers. And yes, they did mass kill people. All right, but it was just different than it was depicted. You know, like they had too many slaves and they had to wait too long, and it was putting a strain on the food supply. So they would do these mass sacrificial ceremonies and stuff like that. So anyway, just wanted to give just a different angle. You know, a different angle on this stuff. It's kind of fun. I like books and I like history and all that. But anyway, I'm